We have now the situation that we need to set up the strategy and vision for mobility, but there are also different strategic plans already in place for Anytown. The first is called Anytown Economic Growth Plan. This plan is aimed to create 100,000 new jobs by 2030 and attract 20,000 new businesses. So it's quite ambitious plan for growth, and this plan aims to support an investment to the new financial district in the city center, as well as the education facilities and science parks. They do not say specifically what they require from mobility plan, but we need to deal with the plan in terms of the location of new jobs and the higher demand for mobility to those locations. The second strategic plan is called Anytown Carbon Reduction Plan. This plan wants to reduce the emission levels under the EU rules. It covers different areas of power generation, industrial processes, and transport. According to this plan, mobility or transport is the largest contributor to emissions, so we should reflect this in our SUMP when discussing the environmental impact of transport on residents and visitors to the city. And the last one is the Anytown Housing Plan. This plan aims to build 50,000 new homes by 2035, and this plan aims to make the Anytown itself more attractive and to not to support the further suburbanization process, which means that Anytown is losing population and the suburbs are growing faster than the city itself. So this is also something to reflect in our vision. So obviously we don't have just mobility issues to consider, but we also should reflect the wider connections to economy, housing, and environment. During the process of preparation of vision and objectives, our data team conducted a survey which was focused on capturing the public perceptions on mobility. So on the slide you can see the top 5 issues which were identified among the transport users of all transport modes. And people complain mostly about congestion on the road network, traveling costs, disruption caused by roadworks, accidents and safety, and noise pollution. So this is purely the let's say the customer's view, if we can say that. And on the other hand, the survey also shows some general suggestions what the people would like to see improved in the city and when moving in the city or to suburbs. The first was that they would like to see even lower prices for public transport, which is quite in contrast to what we heard yesterday, that the prices were fixed for the last 10 years. The second suggestion was to complete the city ring road and to enable the smooth movement of cars or car-based traffic. The first suggestion from the public was to build an additional metro line, because people feel that metro is a reliable and convenient way of traveling, so they would like to see network extensions. The fourth was more parking spaces in Anytown city center. Obviously, even though the parking prices are very low or even completely for free, people like to see higher capacity for parking in their target destinations. And the last is the request on improved conditions for cycling. So as you can see, this goes somehow against the findings of, let's say, the expert team, but this is just what the public in general say when they are facing the questions of their top issues and suggestions.
And we shouldn't forget when we're developing our sump, the public, as we're developing our Anytown sumps, we need to make sure we take into account the public opinion. Otherwise, the sump may fail. So
maybe that at least some points to consider. So our task for the group exercise is to set up a vision for mobility plan and to add 5 different objectives which will support the overall vision. To confirm that we are covering the full area of let's say of our focus, we should also identify the links to the issues or to the positive and negative trends we have identified yesterday in the afternoon. So we should explain that our objectives are directly linked to the analysis stage of the plan. So now we have 30 minutes to prepare the qualitative vision for Anytown and to include 5 objectives which will describe the desired future. And so we should now follow the same process as yesterday. So we will have again 2 groups in Aula Azul, and the third group will stay in this room. And after the group exercise, which will finish at 11:15, we will have a coffee break till 11 o'clock. So we will meet again together in this room at 11 o'clock.
And if anyone wasn't here yesterday, they can join maybe Mark's group, I think, which is in this room. Okay, let the sump development begin or continue.
Yeah.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. I think everybody can hear me. If not, please say it. I will try to speak louder. But I will present now the objectives of our group, the group that was working here. It's a multinational group, so our objectives are also multinational. Well, the first one is integration. It's the main concept will be integration. Integration of what? Integration of all transport modes. So we think that a city, to be a livable city, to be a good city, has to have a good integration in terms of all transportation modes and, of course, the sustainable modes. Integration, of course, means a wide variety of things. It means integrated fares. It means integrated timetables. It means accessibility for persons that have mobility issues. So it's quite a broad term, but we think it is very important for any town to have integration. The second one is costs. I remember that yesterday we had a discussion in our group, and I think the other groups also discussed this, because the costs, we have maybe some data that is lacking here, because we do not understand perfectly why are the costs rising or why are the subsidies rising, since the costs are mainly the same for the last few years. So we definitely need to first understand what's happening with the costs and then try to control them to keep them sustainable and accessible to a wide variety of the population. Going to the third is safety. Safety, seguridad in espanhol. So safety is important. We cannot have a livable city without safety, so we need to have safety in all transport modes. But once again, and as we heard in the beginning of the morning, we have to have our preoccupation, our biggest concern with the safety of the pedestrians, with the safety of the cyclists. Another one, number 4, will be the environment, medio ambiente. We had some data. We didn't have data about the noise, but we had some data about the air quality. So air quality in the central area, we had some orange color and some yellows. So definitely it's something that we need to improve. Maybe we have too much car traffic in the central area, so we need to work about that. Finally, the last of our objectives will be about the expansion zones. So we want to have a sustainable expansion to the zones, and we want to have a good integration between the new development zones and between the main part of the city. So I guess that's all. It leads me to the last one. That's the vision. In terms of vision, we thought about a very simple concept because we think that if it's simple, people will not forget it. It will catch their ears or their eyes or whatever. So we use just 3 words that integrate all the 5 concepts that we talked about previously. And the 3 words were safety, sustainable, and smart. Of course, safety is self-explanatory. Sustainable also because we want to promote the cyclists and pedestrians and the integration between the transportation modes. So that way we will achieve sustainability in energetic terms and of course also in pollution. And smart because we want to have a smart city, a city that integrates everybody, and a city that is very easy to use in terms of transportation and mobility. If we can achieve all these three main concepts, 3 main words, I'm sure that any town will be a great town to live. That's all. Thank you.
So the mayor of Markstown has spoken.
Very convincingly, I have to say. Triple S, I mean, this is the abbreviation of the 3 terms.
Who's next?
Right, I think Daniel is just loading the slides, so I think we can now put the other 2 onto the PowerPoint. And maybe my team will be next. Daniel? No? We'll have the mayor of the Team A, the winning team, will come up. And go through the objectives. So, Mark's, move you, Mark's.
What?
The microphone. Move you.
It doesn't move. Oh, well. We'll hold it.
Bueno, no sé.
Yeah, it's good. You don't need to be too late. It's okay.
Bueno, nosotros vamos a partir de la base de los problemas que detectamos ayer para plantear los objetivos que nos permitan mejorar la movilidad en nuestra ciudad, ¿no? A nosotros lo que más nos preocupa es la accidentabilidad. No sé si es por la trascendencia del sitio en el que estamos o qué, pero a lo que más importancia le damos es a la accidentabilidad. Queremos mejorar la accidentabilidad, reducir la siniestrabilidad de la ciudad en todos los modos de transporte. On display, okay. If you want.
Yeah. No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
Yeah, is it?
No,
No,
that's not
no,
ours.
no es esta.
That's Team C. No.
No es esta. Da igual.
See, he's trying to win by distracting our mayor.
Bueno, aunque no siga el orden correlativo de los que hemos enunciado, para nosotros también es muy importante mejorar la movilidad no motorizada, tanto la ciclista como la peatonal. Coincide además con una de las sugerencias que planteaban los vecinos de Anytown y, por lo tanto, partiendo de la base de que no tenemos datos sobre la orografía de la ciudad y no sabemos muy bien cuál es la estrategia de infraestructura que se puede llevar a cabo, pero lo que sí está claro es que hay una intención por parte de los usuarios, los ciudadanos de Anytown, de utilizar este modo de transporte. Por lo tanto, puesto que va a incidir finalmente en la mejora de la calidad de vida y la salud de las personas, planteamos la mejora de la movilidad no motorizada. También hay una queja importante por parte de los ciudadanos de Anytown sobre los elevados índices de congestión y los efectos de las obras, seguramente porque no están las infraestructuras terminadas. Por lo tanto, queremos reducir esa congestión, acabar las obras y que todo vuelva a la normalidad y tener ya toda la infraestructura disponible para su uso. En cuanto al transporte colectivo, hay mucha intención o deseo de que se reduzcan esos costes para el usuario y posiblemente, coincidiendo con el equipo anterior que decía que eran elevados, no eran eficientes la gestión del transporte y que faltaban cosas por hacer, pues lo que queremos también es plantear una mejora de la eficiencia del transporte colectivo también mediante esa integración modal y tarifaria. Nos salen unos desplazamientos al centro en vehículo privado para los que los ciudadanos piden incrementar el número de estacionamientos, pero quizá eso sea una tarea más propia de las medidas a implantar que de los objetivos. Y, en definitiva, con todo este tipo de objetivos que hemos planteado, con la mejora de la accidentabilidad y la mejora de la calidad ambiental, no solo en aire, sino también el ruido, para hacerlo, sobre todo en la zona central, para hacerlo más accesible a todos los ciudadanos y a los posibles turistas y gente que desde el entorno se decida acceder a nuestra ciudad. Por lo tanto, con todos estos 5 objetivos, como alcalde de Anytown, yo les digo, en 2040 seremos una ciudad más accesible, segura y limpia para todos, ejemplo de calidad de vida para todos los de nuestro entorno. Vengan a vivir con nosotros.
And this gentleman did offer to sing the vision, but I said no, don't sing today. I should also say that one thing our group did, which is maybe why we're the winning team, is we linked it back to the trends that we'd seen as well, and I think the market research that Daniel had spoken about. So this is important, and we have a fantastic mayor. Daniel.
Okay, so I would like to ask our team member, sorry for that technical troubles, but we managed, at least our team will have the presentation on the screen, but that's just a coincidence. It's nothing to influence.
He does this everywhere.
Vale. Bueno, quizá por ser el último, pues tocamos un poco lo que se ha dicho, pero bueno, el verdadero equipo ganador vamos a intentar esbozar un poco los objetivos. El primer objetivo que hemos dicho, hemos puesto la reducción del vehículo privado, fomentando el transporte más sostenible, un transporte público. Lo hemos hablado en varios objetivos, lo hemos dicho en varios de los aspectos negativos de la anterior tarea, pero creemos que la finalidad es pues la descongestión del centro, la descongestión del viario, reducir la contaminación, reducir el ruido, mejorar la calidad del aire y y plantear una estrategia nueva de parking, controlar un poco el tema de los parkings que hay en el centro de la ciudad que no están controlados, que son gratuitos. Después hemos marcado la reducción de la siniestralidad, bajando el índice de accidentes. Estas son medidas más específicas, pero entendiendo pues plantear zonas 30, zonas peatonales, como consecuencia de la reducción del vehículo privado. Como objetivo número 3 hemos marcado mejorar la interconexión de los barrios externos entre ellos y también ellos con el barrio del centro. Pues planteamos la finalización de las líneas de metro o mejora de los sistemas de parking, de park and ride. Otro objetivo que hemos planteado en nuestro grupo es el fomento de la bicicleta y del transporte a pie como métodos de transporte no motorizado, todo ello con la premisa de una concienciación ciudadana y campañas de divulgación. Y como último objetivo, pues también la síntesis del grupo ha sido que todo lo toca y tal, el fomentar la competitividad económica del centro, de la zona histórica, con un método de economía sostenible. Ya para acabar, un poco el lema, el eslogan que hemos decidido es bájate del coche, súbete a la ciudad. Ya está.
Okay, does anyone want to comment or challenge the other mayors or the other cities? No, I think these are all very positive. I think Daniel may have some comment.
It's not very traditional, but I will have some comments to my own team. I have spotted that sometimes we are talking already about measures like new metro line or reduction of car access, and maybe that's something we should not mention at this stage, because we do not have the budget yet for implementation. Maybe that we will find some different measures which will be cheaper but with the same effect. So just maybe that in general we should be quite careful that the SUMP objectives should not be directly mentioning any measures like new highway, new metro line, because you might struggle with finding the appropriate funding and other conditions for building them. So just quite the issue we have spotted in several countries during that training. So something to be aware of.
An important message, I think, and he looks like a man who's very worried about his SUMP. So I think a round of applause to the mayor of the runners-up. I think now on to